It was June 27, 1995, in Mason City, Iowa, a quiet community where 27-year-old Jodi Huisentruit had become a familiar face. As the morning anchor for KIMT TV, she greeted viewers with warmth and professionalism each day. Known for her energy and optimism, Jodi had recently told friends she loved her job and the small-town calm of Mason City. That summer morning, however, would mark the last time anyone saw her alive. At 4 a.m., Jodi's producer called when she didn't show up for her 3 a.m. shift. Jodi answered, saying she had overslept and was hurrying in. The drive from her apartment to the station was barely 5 minutes, yet she never arrived. That brief call became the final known contact with her. By 7 a.m., KMT staff were alarmed. Coworkers drove to her apartment complex, Key Apartments, to check on her. They found her red Mazda Miata in the parking lot, keys bent in the lock, personal belongings scattered, shoes, a hairdryer, her earrings. It looked like she'd been interrupted while unlocking the car. Police quickly cordoned off the area. Skid marks on the pavement and drag marks nearby hinted at a struggle. Neighbors recalled hearing a scream around that same time, though no one saw who was involved. The once quiet apartment lot now buzzed with investigators piecing together what little remained of Jodi's last moments. Within hours, the Mason City Police Department launched a massive search. Detectives interviewed neighbors, combed nearby woods, and brought in tracking dogs. Federal agents soon joined, treating the case as an abduction. Despite the urgency, no witnesses could identify a suspect or vehicle. The media covered Jodi's disappearance extensively, from local Iowa broadcasts to national outlets like America's Most Wanted. Posters with her smiling photo filled storefronts and community boards. The newsroom she once filled with laughter now ran hourly updates on her disappearance, a haunting reminder of how suddenly she'd vanished. Mason City was stunned. Vigils were held nightly, drawing hundreds of residents holding candles and praying for answers. Volunteers combed fields, rivers, and backroads. Boats swept the nearby Winnebago River, while helicopters scanned the countryside. The search stretched for miles, but yielded nothing. Friends described Jodi as trusting and sociable, with a busy life centered around work and community. Investigators looked into her relationships but found no solid leads. Her disappearance seemed to have no motive, no ransom, no evidence of theft, and no sign she had planned to leave voluntarily. Over time, few clues surfaced. A white van was reported near her apartment that morning, but no trace of it was ever confirmed. Witnesses mentioned an unfamiliar man seen watching her days earlier. Yet none of these leads produced evidence strong enough for an arrest. Investigators examined her phone records, friends, and coworkers. They even reviewed her mail for possible stalkers, but everything led to dead ends. The FBI profiled the case as a likely targeted abduction, suggesting the perpetrator knew Jodi's schedule and waited for her that morning. As months turned to years, the investigation slowed. Mason City's police chief admitted they were no closer to finding answers. In 2001, Jodi was declared legally dead, though no remains or physical evidence ever surfaced. Her family never stopped searching. Her sister Joan helped establish the Jodi's Network of Hope, a nonprofit promoting safety awareness and missing person education. Each June 27th, friends and locals gathered in Mason City to remember her, and to remind the world her case was still unsolved. In 2015, on the 20th anniversary of her disappearance, police announced that Jodi's case remained an active investigation. They re-interviewed witnesses and analyzed new tips, including digital leads from long-kept files. Even with evolving technology, no definitive evidence has yet surfaced. Documentaries and podcasts revived public attention, prompting renewed calls for justice. The case remains open at both the local and federal levels. a haunting reminder of how someone can vanish in plain sight, even in a quiet Iowa town. Today, nearly 3 decades later, Jodi Huisentruit's disappearance still grips those who remember her smile on the morning news. Her case reshaped how communities approach missing person investigations and inspired nationwide awareness campaigns. Jodi's story remains frozen in that pre-dawn moment, a promising journalist cut off mid-routine, leaving only questions. The hope for answers endures, as Mason City keeps waiting for the truth to finally come to light. Before you go, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into true crime. Share this with friends who follow these cases. The more awareness, the closer we get to answers.